Good afternoon, friends. It's Sunday, 5th October, and the temperature is approximately 28 degrees, and the time is 1:50 p.m. in the afternoon. I just thought I'll come live for a little bit. We have a pretty rainy afternoon in the central range of Trinidad. It's quite nice to look at the different colors and shades as the rain comes inwards towards the more central part of the island. Looking over towards the right side, that leans towards the south of Trinidad, and literally over the hills, that is South Trinidad on the right side. And well, of course, we're in the central region, and heading over towards the left corner is direction of the east. So it's quite a unique range which runs through the south, central and east. quite like that house. Reminds me of something like a cottage in an old program, Little House on the Prairie, something along those lines. It's quite nicely built into the land, with the shape of the land, whereas traditionally, well, not traditionally but commonly, everyone tends to try and build up their properties into like flat surfaces and build upwards, you know, end up with a basement or something, whereas this one, it kind of just integrates within that nature. The color scheme as well blends in quite nicely. I'm not sure if the owner intended to build that you know, purposely around that, or it just happened that way. Either way, it worked out really nicely. Over the coming weeks, I would like to think, for quite some time now, I'm always intrigued by the hills, and you know, which is so many areas within there. You know, I would like to know what different areas are, you know. A lot of little villages dotted around in there. I'm not sure if the camera can pick it up quite well enough, but you know, there are little, let's see if I could point one out. Can I zoom? This doesn't quite take it. There's little, like, if you happen to see any shiny bits sticking out in the greenery, it's more than likely a rooftop many miles away. I know for certain in that area there, that's Grand Cover, and where those antenna or masks are, pointing way off. Let's see, I'm just pointing away and you guys cannot even see. Okay, yeah, you can barely see it in the camera in the distance, just right there. I know that's the La Vega area. La Vega is it's on Google. It's a nature reserve within the forestry. Quite an interesting story where a guy who had an expat, you know, had returned and basically had a dream, had a vision of how he wanted this reserve to be built, and he just started creating it from within. Today it's quite a well thought of place. And you can see at the top where it's quite misty or cloudy there, you know, blocking away the hills there. That's where the rain cloud is currently, or the rain is currently. So based on the slightly darker clouds overhead of us, I would imagine it's just a moment, or it's just a short space of time, that rain will come into us. Hopefully it's a passing cloud and it doesn't last too long, because it's not the intention of the day. However, it has been extremely hot over the past few days, so it's a welcome cool down. I'm sure the forestry, the plants, etc. will appreciate this time. um, but as it goes, it's never too convenient. Bizarre how the weather patterns are is these, you know, in these times going back 20, 30 years. It was quite a different schedule. It was more along the schedules of you know, depending on where you are. So in the tropics here, we either had rainy season or dry season. That's it. Nowadays they use terminologies like summer, etc., but it's a tropical country. It's summer all year round, let's be real. But the dry season generally was dry, which began in January and ranged right down to the last 3 weeks or so in August, and then the rainy season will start picking up at that point. I remember distinctively the fourth week in August was always heavy showers, and you know it's at a time where you have lots of weddings and stuff because of the weather, because of the August school holidays. It's quite convenient for many. It's quite a convenient time, but I remember the heavy rain showers that used to come down, bearing in mind the previous 6 months was absolutely dry. Extreme heat. Now it's potluck. Looking across to the Netherlands at the moment, where they've the last 24 hours had severe storms, and the winter season's not really kicked in yet. However, it has kicked in temperature-wise, and the bad storms, etc., that comes with it. They had quite a lot of destruction in the city areas of Holland. The UK is getting, I guess, the aftermath of the heavy winds from the neighbouring country or countries, and maybe over the next 48 hours or so, the wind might increase, but the temperature again is quite cold there, from what I've been told. And then you have to cross to Toronto, where the weather just picked up again, and it's quite summery. It's nice. The temperature is nice. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. So ideal weather. No extremities of either ends. Quite nice looking at the hills. No matter how often you sit here and stare at it, if you do it daily, I do it daily, if you do it once in a while, there's always something that you've never seen before, despite looking at it through the lens and it's just forestry. But after a while you start recognizing different things, different shades of green, different colors, different patterns within the trees, the changing climate, where it's the rainier months, of course the color will become greener, and the other months become drier. But then again, as I said, the weather is not consistent, so it's quite interesting. It's quite fun to see. After a while, you'd be sitting here and you recognize a light coming in the evening through the middle of the forest. You realize it's a house you've never seen before. keep the camera sort of tilted upwards, because the lower end, it's basically is housing, not a lot, but it takes away a little bit from the picturesque. For example, you have the neighboring property which have the reserve water tanks there. I mean, it's not the prettiest thing to look at, but very much required for country life. And to the left you've got a building in construction currently. And the average, generally it's it's the countryside. It's quite green. Probably kind of show you guys around and go up a bit, so it kind of tilts around to from that end there. It's a bit further on, so you're starting from the south, we're in the central region, and then leaning towards the east, and you can hear the rains coming in now gradually, and there we go, the rains are today, so we'll take a walk down and rinse around. A different view from a different angle. gimbal decided to do its own thing. See the heavy clouds coming in still in the center region there. That's still yet to come. Whereas on this side it's pretty much clearing up a bit. Barracks. just opened out the window a bit wider on the right side so I'll give you guys a more rounded view towards the right. Gimbal's tripping again. coming towards the end of the heavy rains, despite the thunder that's rolling above. So unless we get a heavy rainstorm, I'll probably end this live in 5 minutes. If you do like what you see, the nature, different cities, etc., please do support the channel by liking and sharing the video. It would be much appreciated. And by liking the videos, it helps to get the content out there, the various algorithms. And it shows the appreciation of what we're producing, what I'm producing. Be sure to check out a few of my other videos which I've recently posted, which is quite a contrast to this present video. Well, some of it, i.e. my walk through London, through the South Bank of London. Much different to the countryside. But I also do have my countryside walk in Greater London. Well, we'll wrap things up now, and thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.